Cool, we're live. All right, so just a little update on front-end math. I haven't done anything today, and it kind of makes me feel guilty. But I have been chipping away at it. But I just got so much stuff to do. I just finished up asynchronous JavaScript, and I'm now moving on to data structures and algorithms with Bianca Gandolfo. Pretty good stuff, really good stuff, actually. So, I kind of had to take a break. And by break, I don't mean like a real break, like, oh, I'm not going to start doing any development stuff today until after 4, which is kind of weird to be like, oh, yeah, that's normal. That's normal to wait till after 4 because that's all my life has been. That's all my life has been pretty much. And I'm like, oh, wow, look at this. The laundry is getting kind of stacked up. The dishes need done. And so I think it's kind of important. I think it's important that we kind of address that, because I can see how it can be really easy. Ramsey, you really are first. What's going on, Neil? Hey, Joseph. To get kind of caught up on like just development stuff, which sometimes you have to do. Or if you want to get to a certain level, sometimes you have to do that. And that's just something you have to take, for granted. But you can take some time out of your day to like do things. That's what I've kind of had to figure out. Like, you know what? I'm like, I got to do this, that, and the other. And if I don't do it, my whole day is going to be ruined. No, stop. Get your cleaning done. It's okay to take a day off. Not a day, but see what I mean? It's okay to take some time off to do some cleaning. So that's what I did last night. I was too tired. So instead I just cleaned instead of trying to do something. Hey, what's up, Abhishek? And this morning, same thing, cleaned, got things squared away. Got some bills squared away, did some shopping that I needed to do, and heck, like I feel fine. It's just, I got to remind myself that that's okay, and like, oh, well, even if I start at 4 and go all day until midnight, which is how long I stay up, that's still like 8 hours. I can still do that. And granted, it's not, 8 hours fully, but I don't know. Sometimes I think we just try to get so hyper competitive, and I want to be a master of my craft that, sometimes we just forget that. And by we, I mean me. Come to India, Abhishek says, man, I feel like going to India. I just feel like traveling now. It's about, I've been good, by the way. It's more about trying to delay, a lot of gratification. I've done that for like my entire 20s. I gave up a lot in my 20s. And I just turned 30 this year. And I'm still trying to give up a lot or postpone things in order to get a higher reward. So yeah, I've been doing front-end masters. It was great to have a challenge to do videos. But the real reason I did that was to become a better professional, become better at my job, and know that in the long run that's going to serve me. So I know it's not sustainable, but India, it's a definite maybe. It is actually probably on there, but maybe not for a couple of years. Maybe not until I know that I've got all my ducks in a row, right? I'm still building my personal brand, and I'm still trying to find my niche. Well, I think I found my niche, but I'm still trying to find out how to merge my skills with my niche. So online learning and web development, how to merge those together. What stack are you working now? I'm a front-end developer, so I don't do like any back-end. So it's very JavaScript heavy, using some, I'll use AngularJS. I'm going to go back into React. But if I had to say everything I know, MongoDB, Express, Node, React, AngularJS, jQuery, but I mean, that's used for legacy code that I have to use sometimes. Sass, HTML. I hope that answers your question, Abhishek. Ahmed says, hi, what time can I jump into WordPress? I know HTML, CSS, and Bootstrap. Dude, you could have jumped into WordPress before that. But it's good that you have that. You jump into WordPress right now. Yeah, I'm sorry, Abhishek. It's a coffee shop, and I'm not in my normal spot. This guy over here in the corner's in it. He should have known better. My apologies. I just, I kind of had to do these where I can. So I'll try to make up for it. They're very busy today, so there's a lot going on. So my apologies. But feel free to ask your question, and if it's too noisy, I'll write it in the comments for you. So what is everyone else up to today? I'm getting coffee. I'm going out to lunch, meeting a friend for lunch. Then I think from 4, so I'm just gonna code But after that, I mean, I still got to exercise. I've been letting that get away from me, and that's been a huge part of my success as recently to just fight off like fatigue and burnout, to be honest. And I haven't been doing it for the last, I don't know, week and a half. Yeah. Well, what do you guys think? How much time do you put in a week for studying development, and how much time do you think I've been putting in a week? If you know the answer, let me know. And if it's enough or if it's too much, I'd like to know your thoughts and opinions, because yeah, it's my channel, but it doesn't mean I'm an expert, and I can always take inspiration from someone else. So if you have if you're like, hey, I think you're putting in a lot too much time or something like that, it doesn't matter experience level. Let me know. I'll wait for the comments, and while I do that, I'm gonna go ahead and share this with my Facebook. Oh yeah, and I did a post, but I'm gonna just let you guys know in case you didn't know. Almost up to 7,000, no, almost up to 5,000 subscribers. 5,000 subscribers, and I'm looking forward to it. It's a big milestone for me, and so I can't wait till I hit that mark. I think we're at 4,914 or something like that. So thanks, Abhishek. Christ and Dev. Hey, Ricky. Nice headset. Oh, thank you. I've had this headset for a while. I actually had it replaced, but it's Bluetooth. Honestly, it's not on right now. It's just on my head so I can focus on the content and not get distracted by everyone else here. But thanks, appreciate it. These are the, what are they? Audio-Technica MX, like 50 or something, and they're Bluetooth. You can get them on Amazon for like $200. And some people might think that's a lot. It is, but they're part of like my work tool set. Really, so they're super valuable, and they're worth every penny. So Joseph says, have you messed with React hooks yet? I did when they first came out, but since like over the last 8 months, I haven't. Well, that's not true. Since I made my portfolio page, I haven't touched React. And so I remember talking about them, but I've just been so focused on like just getting core JavaScript down that I forgot about them. I think they like somehow like pass Redux or something. Like they kind of like are like a shim, not a shim, that's not the right word, but they're like a replacement or substitute for that. Ahmed says, when freelancing, should I build websites using CMS or from scratch? Probably CMS, to be honest, because it's easier to like swap things out, and then someone else can come along if they need them, and you're not always stuck there. And sometimes the technologies are out and they're more robust. But it's really about your end game. For me, I never want to use CMSs because I'm not trying to make money. I'm trying to build my skill and build my craft. So I'm closer to the code and my day-to-day life and my career. So I want to make websites that do that too, rather than WordPress. The hooks are officially shipped like 2 weeks ago. Oh yes, I did hear about that. I did hear about them being official now, but I just haven't used them. So that's pretty cool. They'll be nice to see. I'm kind of concerned because I'm going to go to Front End Masters. They have some React stuff, but it needed to be updated. So hopefully I'm still up with that. Thanks, Neil. See ya. So I wonder what's going to happen with Front End Masters, or is it going to be enough? That's one of those things that drives me crazy, man, about libraries, is they change so much. I already think React's changed like 2 or 3 times since I've used it. So kind of pisses me off, to be honest. So I've been really happy to just work with JavaScript and the compiler and learn how that works. So these changes aren't like super, like, I don't know what's going on. So I like working with AngularJS, like digest cycle, that's insane. Sometimes trying to like weave it in and out and stuff. So yeah, and I was like, man, I really need to get my JavaScript down. So I will rewatch later today, Ricky. Oh, thanks, Neil. Joseph says, every year the React course with Brian Holt gets updated. Okay, yeah, it does, and they're updating it now. But Brian Holt's a champ. The thing is I'm going to be taking that course probably within the next, not this week, but the week after this one, or like in 7 more days. So it's kind of like, I don't know, I'm going to miss out on a lot of stuff, but at the end of the day, just do it. I'm just trying to get through. Sorry about that. Get as much education as possible, and if I have to come back and fix it, fine. Sorry for getting off the rails there. Joseph says, nope, we just talked about that. Ahmed, did I answer your question about WordPress, by the way? Let me know. Okie dokie. So we've shared this to Facebook, Twitter, anywhere else? No. I'm really excited, though. I'm really excited to do some more stuff. So after Front-End Masters, we'll just have to wait and see. Joseph says the React course gets updated around September, November every year. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I've taken like 2 years worth of Front-End Masters in like 2 months. So my brain is just like, ah. So, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of information. And sometimes I don't get it all the way down. One of the things that I was concerned with was, or not concerned with, one of the things I didn't get too well was the asynchronous JavaScript. When they got into observables and some other thing, like towards the end, I just did not understand it, which is unfortunate. So Joseph, I didn't know you used Front-End Masters. You've been using it for a while? I mean, at least for 2 years, 2 or 3 years. Oh man, my back. I gotta tell you guys, my back hurts. I gotta start exercising it again. I can't tell you how much of a difference it's made. Grace Center Dev, I think I'm going to be doing the Treehouse Tech degree soon. Hey, whatever floats your boat. If you've done the tracks, though, I recommend you do that too. I recommend you do that first and then go back and before you spend all the money on it. Either in March or April, I want to do the front end and full stack JavaScript tech degrees. Yeah, I mean, if you can afford it. I mean, I think the tech degrees are pretty affordable, but I don't know off the top of my head. Why not? The thing that I always think about is like, well, if I can afford it, like not like college. College is way expensive. And, I don't want to get off on like some tangent here, but if I can afford it, like think of it like what's the worst that's going to happen? I'm going to learn some more, so don't worry about that as long as it's affordable and reasonable. And what are the alternatives of like what you'd be doing with that free time too? That's the other thing. And if it's worthwhile, then do it. What's so funny in that cafe? Friends having a good time? I guess I don't know. It's just too dope here. They're probably laughing at my front-end web developer conversation. No, that's not true. Joseph says, I've been using it for like a year. It's my go-to learning for frameworks. Yeah, that's the thing about Front-End Masters is they're not there to like kind of like type along. They're not type alongs. They're more like for understanding. So yeah, you'll do some exercises, but overall, it's most of them are very heavy lecture based. And I like it. It depends on what like skill level you're at, but the skill level I'm at, I feel like it's totally acceptable. They must be serving more than coffee to be having so much fun. Y'all just haters. I know. They make the stream a little bit noisy, so my apologies. But, there's a public space. What you going to do? It's more on me than on them. But I just thought I'd just sneak in one here soon. Oh, my gosh. That reminds me of something. Coming into this coffee shop is really icy outside. I fell right on my backpack, which had my laptop and my iPad. Luckily, it seems to be working, but yeah, that's just a random tangent I wanted to share with you. I was not happy about it. What content are you guys looking at in this day and age? currently, what type of YouTube stuff are you looking at for web development or for JavaScript, all that stuff? I want to know what everyone else is into, see if I should be checking it out too. One thing I've been doing is learning more about systems design, because you get into some of these bigger projects and you have to do more stuff, right? It's not just code this thing or this. You have to think about it, the overall. Even if you have requirements and stuff, you've got to kind of take it up to a level. So on my free time, on like kind of my spare time, like I'm winding down for bed or something, I'll just turn on one of those. And also reading the DOM Enlightenment, which is a book online. It's free, about how to interact with the DOM. Those are two things, and I'm just kind of doing it sparingly, not like full, like, you know, Front-End Masters is my full-time, part-time job. Front-End Masters is what I'm fully focused on, but sometimes I just wind down with some system design. Like yesterday I was cleaning, I just put some system design on there to see how someone would make a Twitter or something. Did I understand it? No, because I wasn't watching it all the way, but it's nice to be exposed to those things. Joseph says, I'm considering pivoting from software to just mathematics. I'm considering doing a master's in mathematical and becoming a math professor. It's your life, man. You got to make the tough choices. That's definitely seems like a tough choice. Do you think mathematics is going to give you the best options? That's some other things. I mean, it's so hard too. Like, it's so easy for me to tell you what to do, right? And it's so hard for you to look in the future and know what's right to do. But I mean, just kind of think about those things. Think about like, this is going to kind of sound bad, but think about where your parents are, whether that's good or bad, and think about what they went through, and use that as kind of like a indicator of what you have to or have to not do. That's something that I think it would help a lot of people if they took a good hard look at that, to see what they went through. I wish I did, because my dad works very hard, or he did work very hard, and it took me way too long to understand what he had to do to get there, and what I had to do to be at that level or above, right? So, and of course, I had a bunch of mentors online that helped me too. It's just not something that's conveyed. Like, your parents don't want to convey like that all the time. Like, I work super hard, like they can do it, but sometimes they don't do that. And that goes for anyone. I mean, that's it in their, you know, at any age, whether you be 20 or 30 like me. Just think about it and then see like, oh, they did this. I agree with this, or I don't agree with that, and then maybe I could change this. So, sorry, Joseph, to kind of go off the rails there, but that's my opinion. So think about that. My parents live in another country, so I can't really learn much about the U.S. job market from them. No, but you can learn about like work ethic, and it's not so much about just the job market. It's really about like the work ethic and learning about that, and what came back. Because I haven't worked in any other countries either, but I would say that entrepreneurs and high successful people do have a lot of traits in common, and being able to learn from others' mistakes and not just having to go through it themselves is one of those traits, I believe. What kind of web dev courses does Skillshare need? I got invited to make one. I don't know, man. I've been using Skillshare for a while. A good one. That's what they need. Winter. I would say I haven't used it in so long. Skillshare is more, I will say this, because it's more geared towards like the creative industry, I would say create something more creative, like maybe web animations or CSS or basic JavaScript for design. That's what I would focus on. Ahmed says, I'm almost done with Treehouse front end. I'm almost done with Treehouse front end track, but I don't know what's the next step. Could you give me any recommendations? Yeah, try to build something. Try to build like a website or a single page or whatever you did. I don't know what track you did, and try to build something and struggle with it and look up, Stack Overflow or look on Google and go through the MDN, all those things and try to make something. And if you get stuck, yes, it's frustrating and it's super, it can make you mad because you spent so much time learning, but that's okay because if you can get it together, great. If you can't, you're going to learn along the way and you're going to find holes, and then you can fill in those with like maybe courses on Udemy or some additional Treehouse courses that are going to help you with that. Let's see. They need more WebGL content. Yeah. Winter says something nice, something niche for web. I'm thinking I completed a good one on Skillshare, making the YouTube homepage and sidebar. Yeah, that's like a project. I mean, I don't know. For me, I want to learn a little bit deeper, but I am different. I'm now different than what Skillshare is looking for for their demographic. Pluralsight might be better, or where I'd fit better than Skillshare. So yeah, that might be right. Amandu says, can you please recommend a CSS course where I can learn? Yes, I can, in depth about CSS. It's not a fun course, but Front-End Masters has one by Estelle Well, I think. And I'm going to put it in the comment section, so just give me a moment here. Sorry about the wait, but it's like she wrote a book. She co-wrote a book on CSS, like the book. It's huge. And the course is like over 10 hours long. Oof. And it's just going to tell you about all the properties that they have. It's not fun, but it is totally worth it. And you'll learn about specificity and combinators and attributes. So go ahead and take a look at Amdu. I just put it in there. There's a lot already out there. Haven't looked into WebGL. That's the thing, Winter. Like, there's a ton of good content, and there's more good content being made. So it's hard for me to recommend things. So like, oh yeah, maybe I'll do a course, but there's so much good content out there that could be way better than my stuff. And I don't, I think I'd have to go either a level above or improve my production quality, or just do what I do, which is provide you guys with great resources. And that's kind of like my differentiator and how to find and how to learn these resources. So rather than spending so much time in doing a course, that's not going to be great for my overall career, as I'm not up to that level yet where I can just kind of spend time on doing these. And I can just bring you guys along for the ride and give you some tips and tricks along the way. RP, Ricky's suffering from imposter syndrome. Oh, all the time. All the time. And it's just like, I think that you get really confident in your skills, you got to get knocked down. Get really confident in your skills, you got to get knocked down. Like all the freaking time. If you don't, then you're probably doing something wrong. Like for me, like at work just the other day, like yesterday, I had this problem, and the dev that I sit next to, we did some paired programming for like an hour, and I just like, oh yeah, knock this out, do. I'm like, oh, I gotta put some studying in. Yeah, and it's hard to stay humble because you put in so much work. But it's very easy to stay humble as long as you make sure you're not the smartest person in the room, which is always I think you should always strive to do that. You don't want to be the smartest person in the room. Although, I will say I'm confident in my skills, but I know that just because I'm confident in my current skills doesn't mean there aren't skills to be brushed upon or fixed up. Any of that. So you got to constantly keep up with it. Winter says, I was thinking about an Odoo course since I'm waiting to hear back from an interview too. I don't know what an Odoo is. I don't know what Odoo stands for. RP says, on the contrary, if you are already the smartest person in the room, there's nothing to learn from the room. Right. Well, I think that's what I said. But you did it much more eloquently, RP. Right. You don't want to be the smartest person in the room because there's not much to learn from. Right. So if you're not the smartest person, I mean, that's great. That's great. I mean, and even if you are the smartest person, you can keep on learning on your own, but it's much easier. Like in 1 hour, I probably got through a lot of work and a lot of education, like way more quality education than I would have on my own. So Winter says, is ERP and SMS built with Python, Postgres, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript? Hey, that might be a good one. I've never heard of it, which doesn't mean that that's bad. That means it's good because it might be more niche, right? It might be a more niche subject to teach. Great engagement in the comments today, by the way, guys and gals. Appreciate it. It's good stuff. Not good docs, but pretty powerful. It looks like it's your spot to be there, winner. Terrible docs. That's definitely a win for a course for sure. Joseph says, Egghead seems like a good platform to use for creating educational courses. They pay pretty well and have a user base that's serious about learning. Yeah, I haven't used Egghead that much. I haven't used Egghead. I've used it maybe once or twice, like to learn Redux. But yeah, I'm starting to branch out from like online learning, like not online learning, but learning from videos. And I'm going to try to go to some learning from books because I've learned a lot about how to build this, how to build that, or how to use this framework. But I want to go now from like learning the computer science behind it and learning the building blocks. So I'm not always like struggling to learn a new framework or struggling to learn something, this, that, or the other. Just going to the building blocks like CSS, specificity, combinators, painting. That's, rather than just using a library. And then same thing with JavaScript, learning how it works, how the compiler works, how the DOM works. So yeah, I'm trying to go a little bit farther into books. Ahmed says, is there CMS in JavaScript language or just WordPress by PHP? I'm sure there is. What's up, Diamond Boy? You're a junior? Like a junior developer or like a junior in college or in high school? Give me some context there, Diamond. I'm all out of caffeine. Ugh, what a terrible thing. Joseph says, I recommend reading Introduction to the Theory of Computation. It will change the way you approach problem solving. I'm going to keep that one on there. I'm Mateo's friend. Oh, you are Junior. Hey, Junior, what's going on? Nice to see you here, man. This is one of Mateo's friends. So we used to live in Idaho Falls, and he's one of the guys here. So I'm not going to go into too much depth there, Junior, but I'm glad you're here. Sometimes I smile when I see there's still coffee in my cup. Yeah, I am not happy with my coffee being gone. Mateo is just, yes, that's correct, Joseph. But right now, I have no coffee. Keep the questions coming. I will say it's great. It's great to see all this interaction. What were you drinking? Just a mocha. Just a mocha. So it's just coffee and like chocolate. Coffee and chocolate. What social medias are you guys on? I gotta go to class, man. I'll catch you later. You gotta go to class on a Saturday? Oh, that's rough, Joseph. All right, best of luck. Best of luck. All right, so let's see here. I don't know if I have too much more to share. Do you guys have any more questions? Let me know in the comment section here. Because if not, I think I might bounce. I gotta catch lunch with a friend here. But I'm more than happy to stay for a little while longer if you have questions. Okay, I'm gonna show your portfolio here, Winner. So Winner has a portfolio. If you guys want to give them suggestions, if you want to give Winner some suggestions, feel free. So check it out and let them know in the comments. I'm going to check your thing out here. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. One thing I would work on is design, and I'm not saying that like in a derogatory way, but I think there's an opportunity to make the site even better with design and get a huge win. Oh, that's a really cool animation you got going on there. I like that for the menu. Anyway, if you're looking at those, let me know. Amdu says, what web hosting platform would you recommend? I just wanted to deploy a portfolio site. I mean, just static. Use GitHub, man. I think GitHub Pages is probably the best. I know there's a few other ones, but there's like AWS. Like it's too much free. Or what was the other one that I was using? Oh, Nix runs on it. That's what mine's on. It's like, I can't remember who owns Next, but Next.js has their own, Zeit. So that's what I use. But I would say, yeah, do GitHub. As long as there's nothing that's like reading or writing, you're just like displaying content. It's a Node React app. Oh, then Zeit. Zeit is great, dude. Zeit's awesome. Node React, but they use Next.js. Heroku actually would be a good one. That's free. Heroku would be a good one to host a Node React app. Winter says Heroku isn't too hard if you want to learn a little command line. Yeah, and you should learn command line. So the only thing is like you have to learn. That's the thing that annoys me when you get a new a new quote unquote tool. Like you have to jump through the hurdle of learning how to use it, and sometimes just to like host a site. Yay! So, and it's only for like a portfolio. It's not like you're going to be able to use Heroku in your day-to-day most of the time. No, my pleasure, Amdu. So thanks, Winter too. Thanks to Winter. So we got 5 here. It's been a half hour. I'm glad you guys have been showing up too. Because the last couple of live streams, no bueno. That means no good. No good Spanish. They were a little sparse. So, can you guys believe it's already like February? It's almost spring. My goodness gracious. I think the time goes way fast if you're making use of your time. I remember as a kid when I'd be like, I'm bored. Like that never happens ever. It's always like I have a lot of stuff to get done, and there's not enough time to get it done. I'm the opposite of bored. Like I'm crammed. Well. This has been a good live stream. I'm glad you guys came. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up here because again I'm meeting someone for lunch. Thanks for coming by. If you're watching this at a later date, you can always let me know in the comment section. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And if you like this content, let me know. Give some of these likes and help the channel grow. See you guys in the next video next week, and hopefully we'll be up to 5,000. All right, see ya.